A new children's book. It goes against the mainstream gender ideology imposed on children today. It's called She is She. And with March being Women's History Month, the authors want to share why they think it's so important to make sure people acknowledge the beauty of being female in a world that's trying to erase women. The authors join me now, Ryan and Bethany Bomberger. Hi, guys. Thanks for being here. Good to see you.
It's so good to be with you. Yes.
You know, what a beautiful message. I understand you live in Loudoun County, Virginia, of all places, possibly ground zero for the woke wars in schools, right? So how did where you live and what you've seen play a part in your book?
Well, it's a huge part. I mean, we've seen the insanity that's happening in public schools. And of course, here in Loudoun County, they're introducing all these policies that are really set up to not only sever the relationship between parents and children, but also just try to obliterate objective truths. So when you confuse a child as to the core of their identity, you can confuse them about anything. And so this is part of the reason why we wrote She is She, because we want to just celebrate simple truths, you know, celebrate undeniable, biological, beautiful.
For a few decades, I was a teacher in both public and private school and then a homeschooling mom. And I know how powerful good literature can be. And so when we're watching what's going on with the culture, we knew that we had to speak into this issue and just return to some foundational truths.
You know, I spoke with a mother yesterday who said her 11-year-old daughter was pressured into transitioning into a boy at school without her even knowing. And so she's in a lawsuit right now. Her daughter is now back to being a daughter. She was very confused. But I think this is a very timely book in society right now. Why do you think this book, this children's book, is so needed, especially right now?
Well, we've watched as there's an agenda that's targeting our children at younger and younger ages. So what you've just referred to can happen more and more often, that there can be a severing of a tie between parents and children, a deconstructing of family, and stepping in and allowing children to engage in behaviors, in activities, in things that are going to really destroy their identity. And who knew that we had to write a book that really talks about what it means to be undeniably, beautifully, biologically her. But we're in a time in history when this is so important. And we have a frame of reference of years of growing up, learning that girls are girls and boys are boys. But our children don't have that. They are just really being peddled a lot of confusion, and we want them to find clarity.
Right. Yep. It's all about clarity. This book also provides pages covering questions like, what does the Bible say about gender? What does science say? Tell us more about that.
Well, you know, biblical truths are the foundation of everything that we do through the Radiance Foundation. And what motivates us is love. 1 Corinthians 13:6 says, love does not delight in evil, but it rejoices in the truth. So we have some foundational verses that address the whole issue of gender, like Genesis 1:27, God created us male and female. But then science comes along, since God created science, and reinforces what these biblical truths are. And so the book is completely age appropriate for kids 2 to 8, but on sheisshe.com, we have deeper resources for parents and teens to dig deeper into this gender radicalism. And they get some of the medical background, they get more apologetics, they get more personal stories of detransitioners. This is the substance for adults and teens. But this is why we want science to come alongside of biblical truths and just celebrate what is what we know to be true from day one.
We want to eliminate the fear that comes from talking about hard things with the confidence that comes when you have tools that help you articulate simple truths.
Yeah. Are you doing any public readings at any libraries in your community? We've seen Drag Queen Story Hour, so I would just assume, logically, you should also do a story hour.
Yes.
Oh, we will be.
We will
and we
be.
Can't wait for all the woke pushback, but we're excited to engage that. We're going to be doing that in the next few weeks, starting that whole little library tour.
And a lot of people don't know that they could buy a book and donate it to their public library, even if they don't feel brave enough to go and see if they could do a story time or read it aloud. It's really important that we understand the importance of putting these types of books on the shelves. As we're watching others put really destructive books on the shelves, those of us that know better need to really take those steps to do that. And we can donate to our local libraries. It's an easy way to just slip truth in amongst the lies.
Really good point. I didn't think of that, but great idea. Where can people find your new book?
Sheisshe.com is the easiest way to get to it. And don't worry, He is He will be
coming,
released
yes.
in August. So
Perfect.
Gender equality. There you have it.
Okay, I'll have to buy a copy for my boys. Ryan and Bethany Bomberger, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it. And congratulations on your new book.